Okay, so, Richard, do you like or have a problem with what Aaron Rodgers had to say?
I like it because he's right. He's right. That's BS. You know me, Skip, and how I feel about anonymous sources.
Yep.
If you can't stand on business, you can't stand 10 toes down on what you're saying, and if you can't quote a person on said, then don't use it. Then don't use it. I know everybody wants to get their article out there and get the most clicks and get the most attention, and that's the only way you can get that information out there because nobody's going to put their name on it. It's BS. It's a BS way of reporting. It's been a BS way of reporting for the history of time. At the end of the day, especially when you're saying something damning, you're saying something damning about a player. This isn't just, hey, you know, they spilled coffee in the locker room, or they shoot baskets in the locker room, or they were playing ping pong or doing something. You know, that's playful, cool. You can say that. But when you're saying this kid doesn't want to play, this kid is scared to come back on the field, then don't say it unless you can put your name on it. And don't put it in the article unless you can put their name on it. Like, because what you're saying right now, and you're saying it for millions and millions, you're jeopardizing his career, his reputation, and how people are going to view him. People are legitimately going to believe these things, whether they're true or not, and we can't argue their validity because we don't even know if anybody actually said them. It's frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear everything Aaron Rodgers is saying and Richard, and I agree wholeheartedly with both of them. You know, when you have things leaking out of a building, so to speak, and you know, I am Skip, I always go back to referring to Bill Parcells about something.
Yep.
He never wanted to have locker room lawyers. He just never wanted to. One voice, his voice. That's it.
Lawyers as in leaders who make waves or...
Yeah, people that just doing... They don't need all that.
Yeah.
You don't need that. You need one voice to talk for the entire team and organization. That's what I believe in.
You mean Bill's voice?
That's it.
Okay.
The head guy, the general manager, head guy, / president, that's it. Because when you start... Because you don't know, as Aaron Rodgers said, where is it coming from? It's an Think about what Aaron Rodgers said. It's an organizational issue. You cannot have a winning organization with all of that. Think about the New England Patriots. You don't hear nothing out of that building. They're not winning right now, but it's a winning organization. There's not, you don't hear, because you're not going to get that, okay? When you have loose lips, it sinks ships. This kid has been through a lot in 3 years, man. He doesn't deserve this. Now, here's what I would say, if it is true. He's not talking about not getting under the center for his teammates. That's my belief. I'm saying it. Joseph Keyshawn Johnson is saying this. It's not about that's my first name. It's not about government name. It's not about the teammates. It's about the coaching. It's about, if this is true, I have a problem playing for you because what you keep doing to me, play me, bench me, play me, scapegoat me, then you realize, oh, I got 3 dudes worse than me behind me. But now you want to insert me in a lineup. It's a yo-yo effect. It messes with a young guy's psychological brain when you do that. You don't want to keep doing this to him. It won't be a character assassination on him because football players and people that are in organizations can see what he's going through. It's about me playing for the coach, not my teammates. Because his teammates, for the most part, they see it. Aaron Rodgers has spent a lot of time with him. He understands who the kid is, all of those things. And I don't agree with Aaron Rodgers a lot of the times on a lot of things that he says because he's all over the place. Sometimes it's a little weird to me. But in this case, I agree with him 100%. You got to get this organization and put a cap on top of that bottle, Skip, twist it tight, and make sure you ain't got no leaks. None at all. Because when you have leaks, you have a real problem.
Okay. I hear where both of you are coming from, and I especially appreciate what Richard is saying about 10 toes down on quotes. If you want to say it, put your name on it and stand behind it. And to Richard's credit, when he wanted to speak out as a player, you're the same way, Keyshawn. When you wanted to say something, you just flat out said it. It wasn't off the record. It wasn't, don't put my name on it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it was. Remember, this team has had all kinds of issues with Zach Wilson over the last 3 years because, especially a year ago, he would not take ownership of his abysmal performances. He would make excuses. He would lay blame. He would point fingers, deflect blame. And they did not love it. And they made it clear to the media they did not love his lack of leadership, even as a very young player. So Aaron has taken him under wing, and especially because he's no threat to Aaron. Aaron is defending him to the point that he's calling it character assassination. Well, it's not character assassination because I went back and carefully read the Athletics piece on this. They had 3 reporters named in the byline. So 3 different reporters contributed to this piece, one being the great Diana Rossini, who does a great job. She is respected at the highest levels as a reporter. And there are those in the locker room, and they said they had multiple locker room sources who wanted it known that Zach Wilson was making it known in the locker room to several of his teammates he didn't want to play because he didn't trust the offensive line to be able to protect him down the stretch. And he's basically telling his teammates, why would I go out there and risk life and limb for you guys right now when they can't protect me? Well, if you guys had been in that locker room, I don't think you would love that mentality or that approach or that attitude, right?
Yeah, but here's what I would say about that, Skip. It's hard for me to think that that's his approach. That's why I said he's talking to the staff, not to his teammates.
Yeah, but it said that he told teammates that. That's what it was. And do the teammates want their name on it? No, they don't. They don't want to make those kind of waves because everybody's job could be in jeopardy right now.
Here's what I would say again. Without knowing, I doubt he would approach his teammates that way. I would think, but just knowing locker rooms, he may have told somebody on the staff. He may have told somebody other than players who then told the players that. That's just me. I'm assuming here.
I don't know. And you're right. Diana Rossini is fantastic and does a fantastic job. I just don't know. You know, when it's anonymous sources, you just never know. When at least when you have somebody said it, you're like, hey, this guy said it. This guy sounds like some guys are just liars. You know what I mean? So I can't even test if hey man, that guy's a liar. He's not even a credible guy when you can't put your name on it. But what I want to say is, when do we start to, and I know Joe Douglas is a fine guy, he's a good guy, but when do you start to put blame on Joe Douglas for not getting a capable backup?
I agree.
And not addressing this weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
See,
because
Jake
the
Browning.
way they're... Jake Brown, Jake Browning, Josh Dobbs, Jameis Winston. There's a number of guys... Cooper Rush. There's a number of guys who could have come in and given you competent quarterback play.
Agreed.
And the way the Jets organization is built, Robert Saleh cannot make that call. Joe Douglas has to make that call. He has all the personnel power. So when do we start to talk about Joe Douglas? Sorry.
All right. Okay.
Sorry,
Last
Skip.
quick thought here. I've been involved in hundreds of these type situations as a reporter / columnist / magazine and book writer over the years. I'll give you one quick example. Do you remember when Herschel Walker first came to Dallas? Tony Dorsett was there. He was beloved in that locker room, and all of a sudden we had the dream backfield. And Herschel immediately became the media darling in Dallas because he did 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups every morning without fail. And trust me, his teammates didn't buy that phony baloney for 1 second. So numbers of those teammates came to me and said, you got to write that this guy is not for real. You got to expose him because this is fraudulent. He does not do 1,000 and 1,000. And because again, these were anonymous quotes. I'll tell you who they're from because they would stand behind them today. But it was Everson Walls and Dennis Thurman and Mike Downs and Ron Fellows and that group. They just didn't, because they loved Tony, and they should have loved Tony because he was getting a raw deal because Herschel was basically running him out of town. So I wrote it from anonymous sources because I trusted and knew very well that those anonymous sources were telling me what they believed was the truth. And again, Herschel and I went back. I did his TV show one night on a Friday night in Dallas, and we went back and forth just about this. And I believe that they exposed him because I don't think he did 1,000 and 1,000.
So what was it, like
Okay.
250 and 250?
Yeah. No, he was a
Did 100 and 100?
specimen, but he wasn't 1,000.
I mean, he
and
looked
1,000.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid. Not necessarily the article, but I
Yeah.
remember
Yes.
this dude doing 1,000 push-ups and never lifting weights and the whole deal.
Right.
Yeah, he never
Yeah,
touched the weight.
I remember hearing that, and I tried it one day. I tried it. I actually tried it because I was
1,000?
like, man, that's how you get built.
Maybe.
I got about to 275 skip, and my arms stopped working. My stomach stopped going at
There
about
you go.
180. I said, yeah, this dude is built way different than me.
Way different. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.